British tennis star Jack Draper has been forced to pull out of the 2025 U.S. Open due to a troubling arm injury, delivering a huge blow both to his personal ambitions and to British hopes at Flushing Meadows. Coming into the tournament as the fifth seed and Britain's number one, Draper was considered one of the genuine contenders for the title, especially after his breakthrough run to the semifinals last year. But a lingering problem in his serving arm finally caught up with him, ending his campaign before it could properly begin. The 23-year-old's story this summer has been one of battling through pain, trying to balance determination with common sense. His injury first appeared during the clay court swing back in April, when he began to feel discomfort in his left arm, the one that carries the weight of his serve. Medical checks revealed he had suffered a bruised humerus, the long bone that runs from the shoulder to the elbow. It was the sort of injury that doesn't always cause sharp pain, but rather a dull, persistent ache that becomes worse with repetition. Through the French Open and into the grass season, Draper admitted the problem only worsened. By the time Wimbledon arrived, it was clear something wasn't right. After losing in the second round at the All England Club in early July, Draper took the decision to skip key hard-court events in Canada and Cincinnati. The hope was that rest and treatment would give him a proper chance to recover in time for New York. His return at the U.S. Open mixed doubles alongside Jessica Pegula was seen as a cautious step, a way to get some match practice without putting too much strain on the injured arm. Even so, fans and commentators noticed he was wearing a protective sleeve on the arm, a visible reminder that the problem had not fully healed. Despite that, Draper remained optimistic. Before the main draw began, he spoke confidently to reporters, insisting he felt ready to compete and had no intention of holding back. In his first-round match against Argentine qualifier Federico Agustin Gomez, Draper battled through in 4 tough sets. He didn't unleash his trademark booming serve with full force, instead relying on placement, patience, and tactical discipline. Those watching closely saw the adjustment as a clue that his arm was still troubling him, but his determination carried him over the line. For fans, the win was encouraging, but behind the scenes the truth was different. After that physical match, Draper admitted in his statement that the discomfort became too much to ignore. He tried again in practice on Tuesday and Wednesday, hitting his forehand with full power and testing the limits of his serve. But shortly after the Wednesday morning session, he and his team decided the risk was too high. Around lunchtime, he was spotted leaving the grounds looking subdued, flanked by his coaches and medical staff. Not long after, he took to social media to make the announcement himself. "I tried my very best to be here and give myself every chance to play, but the discomfort in my arm has become too much. I have to do what is right and look after myself." His withdrawal meant he would not take the court for his scheduled second-round clash with Belgian star Zizou Bergs. For the tournament organizers, it was a blow to lose a seeded contender so early. For Draper himself, it was heartbreaking, as he had worked all summer with this tournament as his target. And for British tennis fans, it was another reminder of the fragile line top players must walk between pushing through pain and protecting their careers. Former world number 9, Andrea Petkovic, speaking on BBC Radio 5 Live, said Draper's decision did not surprise her. She explained that bone injuries can feel manageable one moment, only to flare up after intense play. "Adrenaline can mask a lot of things," she said. "You might feel fine for weeks, but after a 4-set match, suddenly the pain comes roaring back. Bone injuries are difficult because if you come back too early, they can always return." Her comments echoed the concerns of many who feared Draper's desire to compete might outweigh his need to heal. The consequences of this withdrawal are significant. Draper's ranking, currently inside the top 10, is set to take a hit once the points from last year's semifinal run are deducted. That could drop him outside the world's elite bracket, making his path in future tournaments more difficult. Beyond the rankings, the injury also threatens his chances of qualifying for the season-ending ATP Finals, a showcase event that only admits the best 8 players of the year. If Draper is forced into another lengthy break, his opportunity to secure one of those coveted spots could slip away. It's a cruel twist of fate for a player whose career has often been punctuated by untimely injuries. At just 23, Draper has been hailed as one of Britain's brightest talents since Andy Murray, with his left-handed serve and heavy baseline game capable of troubling anyone on tour. His semifinal run at the US Open in 2024 proved his potential, sparking hope that a new British Grand Slam champion could soon emerge. But now, with this latest setback, his journey takes another difficult detour. Still, Draper remains admired for his openness and honesty. Unlike some athletes who keep injuries hidden, Draper has often spoken candidly about his struggles. In his pre-tournament press conference, he admitted the recovery process had been full of setbacks. While he remained hopeful, he was realistic about the risks. Fans have praised him for being transparent and putting his long-term health first, even when it means missing out on the biggest stages. What happens next depends on how the injury responds to rest and treatment. Bone bruises can be stubborn, requiring weeks or even months to fully heal. If Draper forces himself back too soon, he risks aggravating the problem and creating long-term damage. His team will likely prioritize a cautious approach, even if it means missing more tournaments this autumn. In the short term, the disappointment is hard to shake. Draper entered New York with momentum and belief, and for British fans, he represented their best shot at deep success. But in the long term, the decision could prove wise. By stepping back now, he gives himself the chance to come back fully fit, ready to chase bigger goals in 2026 and beyond. For now, the tennis world wishes him recovery. His withdrawal is a reminder of the physical demands the sport places on its athletes, where the margins between triumph and heartbreak are painfully thin. Draper fought to be in New York. He gave himself every chance, and in the end, he chose health over risk. It was not the story he wanted, but it is a story of resilience, maturity, and the harsh realities of professional tennis.